and run cross country and track and field there as well. So.
All right, thank you so much, students, for joining us today. Best wishes moving forward. All right, next we're going to get right into our program, and we have a panel discussion today about our Rotary Club's youth program. So if the presenters will come on up, I will introduce them. John Noling, none of them need introduction, of course, but John Noling is co-chair of Life Leadership and also the Rotary Committee, and he's going to moderate today. Then we have Doug Wood, a member of our Interact Committee. Megan Byard, see, I knew I was going to mess it up, Megan. Byard? Byard. Caraba, sorry about that. Chair of our scholarships, and then Lynn Turnage, Chair of Youth Exchange. So, you know, it's been a difficult year for everyone, but especially our youth and our youth programs. It's been very challenging, but I know certainly through my year last year, which was 100% virtual, man, the students just shone greatly. So we're going to hear more about that today. So with that, John.
Thank you. Yes, it has been a difficult couple of years, and you haven't heard much about our youth programming in totality, so we thought it would be nice to have a live panel and share with you what we're up to, where we've been, and really what's in the works for this coming year. So I'd like to start by introducing Lynn Turnage, who will talk about Youth Exchange.
Thank you, John. Lynn Turnage here. I am the Youth Exchange Officer for our club. Outside of here, I am a financial planner. I work across the street at Merrill Lynch with an advisor team and oversee financial planning for our clients. I am a Youth Exchange Officer, and for those of you who have joined more recently, what that means is essentially I facilitate the exchange of students that are interested in studying abroad and the students abroad that are interested in studying here in the United States for a year, and more specifically here in our community in Muskegon. I wanted to be part of Youth Exchange since I joined Rotary in 2018 because I lived abroad for 4 years of in my childhood, and I felt like it really had a profound impact on who I became as an adult and kind of how I see the world, how I interact with other people. And so I was really, really passionate about that. And so that's kind of how it started. I am very, very lucky, as I've talked to other folks in here who have been youth exchange officers. It's a huge role and requires a ton of responsibility. And I'm lucky enough to stand on the shoulders of giants. I have an amazing committee. Joni Smith, she oversaw this committee for about 5 years, and she did it by herself, which I don't know how she did that for 5 years by herself. Then I also have Christy Pollack. She's also a Rotarian. She was actually a Rotary exchange student in Japan, and then she came back from Japan and became a Japanese professor at a university. So she is an amazing resource for the kids and an amazing resource for myself as well. And then we have Cody Chipman. He's kind of like our boots on the ground, going to different high schools and really getting the word out about youth exchange. We're all passionate about youth exchange, especially right now. You know, it really makes the world a smaller place, and it really gives the kids a chance to see life from a different perspective. And so there's a quote that we kind of stand by at Youth Exchange, and that's that if every which I know quotes, somebody made fun of quotes, but I love quotes. If every 16-year-old went on exchange, we would never have wars. And I can't tell you how true I feel that is. You know, I really give kids a chance to see how the world is from, you know, just a different perspective. And so hoping to get that out there with folks in this club and in our community. We have a lot going on right now. I know youth in general has obviously had some bumps with COVID, but we were lucky enough to have 2 students this year that are interested in going abroad. They interviewed with us at the club level, and they did a phenomenal job. And so then last week, we went up to Petoskey, and they interviewed at the district level. And the district for Youth Exchange is all the way from Wawa, Canada, all the way down to Holland, Michigan. So it's quite vast, and they had a great time. They were inspired and just had nothing but positive feedback about their trip. So really looking forward to kind of how that develops for them. And right now we're at the stage where we're kind of looking for host families. And so I'm going to kind of put the feelers out there over the next few months with my team, really looking for 3 host families, because for every student that we send abroad, we have 1 student that comes in, and so we need 2 families for each of those 2 kids. So we're looking for 3 more families that are looking to host. And so that kind of covers it. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Lynn. Feeling a bit nostalgic listening to Lynn's story and youth exchange and what it can do for our club here in Muskegon. Megan Byard-Caraba, as mentioned, I am our chair of our scholarship committee here for our club. My professional life is I am the college access specialist working with the intermediate school district. My love and my passion is not only our college access network titled Muskegon Opportunity, but also our beloved place-based scholarship, Muskegon Promise, right? And one of the reasons why I'm so nostalgic listening to Lynn is my life as a Rotarian since 2012. As you know, when you become a member, you are asked to join a committee, right? And get involved and to do the work and to roll up our sleeves and to really live that life of service. Well, Youth Exchange was my first life of service. And I, too, was able to be the Youth Exchange officer way back when and held that role for 3 years. So feeling nostalgic, listening to your work, loving the fact that we can continue those efforts. Now, in my new role as a Rotarian and as the college access specialist and what many call me the mother of the promise, scholarship ended up really kind of being my bailiwick, right? My drive. And so a way for me to give back and to continue to serve for Rotary is to chair and naturally chair our scholarship committee. So really super excited just to give you some stories and some feedback and some data about what our scholarship committee has been able to do in considering life through a pandemic. What we've seen in the last few years is still students interested in utilizing local awards like Muskegon Rotary Club and scholarships to help them through college. Our scholarship here locally is crafted and in honor of 2 Rotarians that were hugely tied with local passion to Muskegon. We call our scholarship the Umbright Austin Award, right? Where we honor those 2 Rotarians that really had flavor and passion and connection to the work in their professional fields as well as their service to our community in Muskegon. Our scholarship is valued at $1,000, and we do offer an award to students who attend 8 of our metro area high schools. And I say 8 metro because, as you know, we have a northern club for Rotary in the White Lake area, right? They too have a scholarship program. And so our club here in the Muskegon area is metro-based and serving the school districts that are really in our city limits and southern borders of our club. So wonderful opportunity to be able to work with 8 schools. We once a year reach out to our schools, their counselors, their college advisors, and we let them know what we're up to as a club and what we have to offer as a scholarship award. Students do need to apply for the scholarship. They need to seek out the application. They need to be meeting with their college counselors or advisors and talking about those next steps. Our Umbright Austin Award is specific for local enrollment. So students with the process or with the interest in using our award are interested in staying local. They're looking to utilize money at Muskegon Community or Baker College, right? One of the ideas or the process behind our application is to learn a little bit more about our students. We do not meet our students face-to-face at all. If some of you know how our community foundation works with scholarships in the historical venue of an interview and let me hear your story and let me learn a little bit more about you, we are very unique and we don't do that. And so we rely on learning their story through their words. And in their application, students need to let us know their goals and their plans and their wishes and their dreams. Let us know their interest for college enrollment, and then provide for us some of that evidence behind what they've been able to accomplish in high school. So we hear and learn and talk about all kinds of things with our students. And as a committee, we're able to review the applications and to take a peek at who might be best suited, right, for our scholarship award. We do take into consideration service, right? We look at our pillars of service of what we want to accomplish as adults, and we want to see, can we infiltrate that to the youth that we serve? Naturally, as the chair of the committee, I also talk to our students about what can happen once they're in college. When we look at Rotary, right, and we look at continuing their service, utilizing the Rotary motto or Rotary method and mindset. So really super excited about that. In the last 3 years, we've served 9 students. Translating those dollars, that's $9,000 we've been able to help with our students attending college. Interestingly, we have the capability with our budgets that we set, the capability to give 4 awards every year. Okay, sometimes we meet all 4, and sometimes we don't. As just a kind of a track record that we've seen, in 2019, we only gave away 3 awards. In 2020, we gave away 4, right? And last year, with our 21 grads, we only gave away 3. Right? So it really is depending on who applies and what our committee has deemed as those who should be receiving the award. So really great things that we're happy to offer, happy to give our students, happy to continue, and really kind of a great connection to some of the other programs we're going to hear about. I'm going to pass now to Doug Wood.
Thank you, Megan. I'm Doug Wood. I am representing the Interact Committee. Randy Lindquist is our chair. Could not be here today, but I'm more than happy to be a part of this. Some of you, especially if you've gone through orientation with me, know that my connection to Rotary started with Interact, not as a high school kid, but as a group of Rotarians who came to my high school and said, we want to start an Interact Committee. And the truth is, I didn't know what Interact Committee meant. I didn't know what Rotary meant. And so that was my introduction to service above self as I watched these 8 or 10 men and women work with my high school kids and give them leadership skills. And so the work that we're doing in the high schools is really important to me, and I think it's really important to this club and our community. As Mark said, and as you know, as the theme is really recovery for our programs right now. All our schools are operating in that hybrid world of what, you know, the pandemic is providing as far as short staffs and mask mandates and all those kind of things. And so what I fully believe is that our Rotary clubs that have been operational the longest and have been most organized are helping those schools build their culture back as they come back from the pandemic. As we take a look at our clubs at North Muskegon and Mona Shores, they've been very active, even as they've come back and tried to operate under the pandemic rules. Clubs at Orchard View and Reese Puffer are a little bit younger, and their efforts are still important, but they're maybe struggling a little bit more. We've started an effort at Oak Ridge. And they could become our fifth school that would have a full Interact club. And by the way, we're hoping to charter the Reese Puffer program. So you Reese Puffer folks that are here, the Reese Puffer program we hope will be chartered in the spring of this year. John's given me a list of things that have gone on, but I just truly believe, first we need to say thank you to all the adults in those schools that are helping to sponsor these programs. They are under a lot of stress, a lot of covering each other as far as absenteeism and things like that. And so for them to give their time to our kids has been really important. But even in that, our clubs are doing things like this. Orchard View and Mona Shores contributed students to the United Way Day of Caring. I took some pictures of kids working in the cemetery and cleaning up tombstones. It was moving to watch these kids and talking to them. They found it moving to be connected to the community in that way. Oh, Muskegon High School. Okay, thank you. North Muskegon Reese Puffer are each sponsoring students through Compassion International. I don't know if you're familiar with that particular program, but that's about $375, $400 a year out of their budget that they raise to sponsor a child in another country. Personally, I've had a Compassion student in my family, in my life, for almost 15 years now, and it's a very rewarding kind of a thing to do. Mona Shores furnished 12 volunteers for the running event that Fruitport held as a benefit to Reed Muskegon. Something you. And Reese Puffer is now working on 9 lap quilts to donate to veterans and nursing homes. Each one of these schools have many other events that you're going to get a chance to hear about. As Rotarians, they look forward to our participation. I truly believe they appreciate us coming to their meetings, us participating in their fundraisers and in their events that they put on. I want to, say a special thank you this year to a brand new Rotarian, Chip Chipman, who is working with Orchard View. He's an Orchard View grad. He's got some connections to that club, and he wants it to be great. And so I would implore upon you to learn more about maybe the club that's closest to you or close to your heart as far as the school, and see if there's some way you can support them. Thank you.
Thank you, Doug. I want to speak briefly about 2 very important programs. First, Life Leadership. Normally, we would have some conferees up here talking, but we felt we needed to give everyone the big picture today. Our club started Life Leadership. It's a RYLA program, Rotary Youth Leadership Awards, in 1949. Our president then, Stub Beamer and Chase Hammond, brought 60 boys to Camp Emory for the very first one. 73 years later, we're here talking about a program that might be the longest running leadership training activity Rotary has known. We were on the map 30 years before RYLA was even invented. We budget about $5,400 in our club for selecting up to 14 students per year. Most recently, since '89, it went co-ed, but we've moved locations 5 times over the years. We've had 4 or 5 district people helping to organize it. I happen to be the district chair for Life Leadership. We didn't have one in 2020, but this past May, we did a virtual conference with 111 students from 24 clubs. Our district is now down to 57 clubs, so you can see we do not get all clubs participating. We get our money from Grape Escape, the Seaway Run, just like a lot of our programs do. We thank all of you for your efforts in fundraising for our club to provide these scholarships to outstanding youth leaders. We're moving to Ferris next June, 15 through 18. We were at Camp Kettenen for many years, but Camp Kettenen in Tustin, Michigan has closed. I work with a 10-member committee, and I work with co-chair Brianna Scott to interview all of our students personally in March and make our own selections from as many high schools other than Montague and Whitehall as we can locate, public and parochial. I encourage you to nominate outstanding sophomores or juniors, or youth exchange outbounds, or future Interact leaders of their clubs to be considered by our committee. We use the 4-way test exclusively. Let me move on to Rotaract. We're in trouble with Rotaract. We do not have Rotaract functioning at either MCC or Baker. Our heyday was when Linda Myers was the advisor, and for 6 years, we had one of the most outstanding Rotaract clubs in the United States, certainly in Michigan. Linda has retired. Tim Stein did a great job trying to keep it going, but things have changed at Baker. Things have changed at MCC. And I have been in discussion with Jim Fisher and our board at other times about what can we do to connect with the JCs and the young black professionals in our community to get a feeder program for our club going. Possibly the college clubs are not the best answer. I feel like I'm pushing a rope on this one. It's a 4-member Rotaract committee. The presidents of both colleges and John Selman and I are on that committee. We have not met in over 2 years. And we're watching Holland tonight charter a new community-based Rotary Club that has an average age of 35 with some vocations represented that belong in Rotary, quite frankly. I want us to consider how we can take interactors and give them a place in Muskegon prior to becoming members of our club. Now, I've been going a little fast, but if you've got questions, we would like to address them. We've got a few minutes. If you have any concerns or comments about what we do with youth as a club, or new ideas or things we should consider doing, can I start with the first question out there or comment from anyone? Kathy Brubaker Clark.
Yeah, I guess maybe kind of a question, but I really like your idea for Rotary, John, and I'm thinking for those of us that have gone to Honduras, they're Rotary actors. It surprised me when we first went down, but they are more that category you're talking about. These weren't just college kids; they were also young professionals, and but they were Rotary actors. And I think I agree. I think that's a really good idea to start looking at. They could be college, but they could also be that young, prior to 30.
That's right.
Or, something like
A community-based club could take the college students plus all the other folks that are not maybe able to afford our dues or be able to show up when we do. And I'd like to keep that discussion going. Any other comments?
So this is directed to Lynn. So Lynn mentioned that we need host families for these two students going abroad we're bringing into inbound. So if someone is interested in being a host family, or they know of someone who might be interested in a host family, should they contact you, and how do you go about doing that?
That's a fantastic question. So first, if you have a pen on you, or you can write this number down, 248-971-4784. That's my personal number, and I'll say it again, 248-971-4784. The other option is, we do have the directory that has been updated, and my information is on there. Please look me up and send me an email, shoot me a call, or leave me a voicemail. We're interested. This, by the way, is Christy. She just walked in. She was with me last weekend when we went to interview the kids up north, and I know she can speak to how wonderful it was up there as well. So one thing I do want to mention with host families is, unlike other, youth exchange is prevalent. It's just that oftentimes host families get paid to host students, and so Rotary, anybody that is part of Rotary and host students, they don't get compensated for it. So it's something that you want to do from your heart, and you want to give somebody an experience of what it's like to be part of your family. So, yeah. Jackie?
Additional question for Lynn. So do the rules of the program still require the host families to be from the same school district that the Outbound kids come from?
You want to repeat that question?
Yeah, so she asked if the host kids have to be, if the kids that are hosted here have to be hosted by a family that lives in the same school district, and the answer is yes. But we did ask this question when we were up north, and they are going to look to see if there's anything that, they can sort of adjust a little bit to make sure that they're a little bit more flexible.
Question in the back. Please say it loud.
I'm Nancy. I'm a newbie here, but I just wanted to say thank you so much for what you do. I had both a son and a daughter go through the RILA Leadership Group in Portage, Michigan, and so we were honored to be a part of that program. Wonderful, wonderful program. And I also hosted a child for Rotary back probably 4 or 5 years ago, but it was a great honor, and the kids are wonderful, and the opportunity was just, it was a tremendous blessing. So I just wanted to say thank you for all of you and your presentation today.
Thank you so much for sharing.
I'm going to slip one thing in here, President Mark, that I didn't put into my presentation, but hope there might be a question about, and that's, you guys have been donating pop cans. And I don't know if you have any idea what that 10-cent donation has added up to. Now, we partnered with the Rescue Mission and the Yacht Club, but our Interact programs have we had almost a $5,000 infusion into their budgets based just on the pop can fundraiser. So that's an example of how just a little thing can make a big difference for these clubs. So I want to say thank you for that. And the other thing I'd like to mention is we are still working with both Muskegon and Muskegon Heights, trying to establish clubs there, find the right champion, the right, that adult champion who could carry this into those schools. We know there's interest. We just need to figure out a way to generate enough interest to make that happen. So thanks.
And I would like to conclude by just saying, any of you who have an interest on any one of our committees or have a place you want to act to help our youth services, contact any one of us and we'll put you in touch with the right place. So thank you for your kind attention today. It's been a pleasure for all of us.
All right, thank you so much, Lynn, Megan, Doug, and John. Thank you for your leadership in this area. This is so important. The personal story, and I've shared this before, my dad was a Muskegon Heights grad. He was selected by this club over 70 years ago to be the first or second, John, student to go to what is now Life Leadership. And he turns 90 in December and is still a Rotarian to this day and has really led a life full of service and leadership. And it has a lot to do with Rotary. He cannot say enough about Rotary. So with that, we're going to move on to birthdays, and we've got a bunch. I don't know if anyone's here, but Jenny McNeil, October 28th today. Randy Lindquist, the 29th. Paul Christie on the 30th. Marianne Kowalski on the 31st. Christy Sweet, the 31st. Timothy Van Haar on the 1st, and Roger Spolman on November 3rd. Is anybody here? We can't sing happy birthday to you then. It might be virtual, but I don't know. So, all right, next, our member spotlight. This goes back to the vocational avenue of service, one of Rotary's 5 avenue of services, and we have Steve Olson today. So, Mike, roll tape.
Good afternoon. My name is Steve Olson, and I've been a Rotarian since 2000, maybe 1999 or 2000. So that's when it all began for me. Being invited by a friend of mine named Bruce Fox, who's no longer in Rotary, but he's the one that encouraged me and brought me in as a member. Married to my wife, Deb, for 47, 48 years. We don't like to say that because that kind of dates ourselves. I have 2 children, a daughter, Sarah, who lives down in Georgia with a grandson, and I have my son, Matt, who resides here in Muskegon and is a member of our company here at Northern Machine Tool Company, of which Northern Machine Tool, family business started by my father and a partner back in 1946. Post-World War II veterans that decided to venture out on their own and start a business. And I joined the company back in 1977 and have been here since, and continue to enjoy what I do, how I do it, and working with my son and also my brother, Dan Olson, and my nephew, Dan's son, Kenny Olson. So certainly a well-connected family business that was taught well by my father, Gerhard Olson. Well, as Rotary gives so much back to the community, either through an organization or through individuals that are part of Rotary, and that's always, I've always been taught it's you want to do what you can to give back to your community, and whether it's your time, your talents, or your treasures. And there's different ways that we can all support our community. And in joining it, I found out that Rotary can offer more to me than probably I can offer to Rotary, and it aligns well when you look at the 4-way test and you look at every Rotarian looks at that, and I like being a part of an organization that has a high moral ground and does a lot in the community, outside the community, and actually around the world, more as a group than we can as individuals.
All right. Steve Olson. All right, and next, I'm excited to induct a new member, so I'm going to call up Kathy Brubaker Clark and Contessa Hood. Please come up. How are you? And Kathy, if you would do the introduction.
Yes, I would be happy to. This is Contessa Hood, who I'm very happy to say I've been working with since, I have been working with Contessa at Greater Muskegon Economic Development since January, and she is just one of the most wonderful people that I know, and I'm very glad she's with us. And I'm glad she's going to be a Rotarian. Contessa is one of Muskegon's up-and-coming leaders. She was born and raised in Muskegon, where she attended Reese Puffer High School, well represented today. She was an honors student, athlete, and symphonic band member, as well as a part-time worker. She left Muskegon to attend Central Michigan University, where she received her BS in Community Development with a concentration in health science. She currently works for Greater Muskegon Economic Development as our Economic Development Coordinator. She leads in retention work and assists with new projects in Muskegon County. She also serves as staff liaison for the Muskegon Heights Business Association. Contessa works closely with Muskegon Lakeshore Chamber of Commerce with developing a diversity, equity, and inclusion series titled Let's Talk Business that strengthens and encourages our up-and-coming business leaders and entrepreneurs by highlighting resources Muskegon County has to offer. Contessa has finished her first step in becoming a certified economic developer and plans to continue with the process. She is also an artist, and her greatest accomplishment is being a mother to her 3-year-old daughter, Isa. Contessa is excited to become a Rotarian, and I will say she has already joined the Rotary DEI committee, as well as, which you'll hear about more in the next few weeks, but our Peace Builders Club committee that's part of DEI. So please, with me, welcome Contessa Hood to our Rotary Club.
Contessa, if you could come this way. Mike, are we using this camera?
Oh, are you good?
I've got this. All right, we need to make this official, Contessa. So come a little closer. You have to get in the camera view. How are we doing, Mike? We good? All right. I'm a little rusty at this in-person stuff, okay? I didn't do much of that. Fellow Rotarians and honored guests, the Rotary Club of Muskegon is privileged to induct a new member. Contessa, you are beginning a great adventure in leadership, friendship, and service to community and humanity. The Rotary Club of Muskegon has accepted you as a person of good character and high ethical standards with a heart for service. Your sponsor, Kathy, has invited you to be a part of a worldwide organization dedicated to fostering service above self. It is through your own actions that you become a Rotarian. We encourage you to learn about Rotary by actively participating in the club, including attending meetings, social events, and service projects. It's my pleasure to give you this pin. I couldn't do this virtually. And I've got some other goodies for you as well, by which others will know you as a Rotarian. I would like to challenge you to share the gift that has been given to you by inviting another person with like qualities of character, reputation, and commitment to join our club within the next several months. The honor of becoming a Rotarian is only surpassed by sponsoring new members. Do you accept this challenge?
I do.
Thank you. Together as Rotarians, we work to enrich youth, ensure health, develop communities, and promote peace. Please rise and welcome our newest Rotarian in the world, Contessa Hood. All right. Thank you, Contessa. And I'll mention I have the pleasure of serving on the GMED board, and so I've gotten to know Contessa through economic development. So she's a great addition, not only to our club, but to our community. All right, we're going to move on to announcements. I have at least two from Arn Bozart, our next and final food distribution will be November 17. It's going to be at Temple Methodist Church in Muskegon Heights. We need about 15 volunteers, and your significant others and spouses and co-workers are welcome to help as well. If you haven't had the opportunity, now's your chance to take the opportunity to assist. I will note that the food distribution is going to begin an hour early at 4 o'clock. So please be there at 3 to 3:15 and catch Arn after the meeting if you're willing to volunteer. Okay. Text or email to Arn. All right, and then attention, diversity, equity, and inclusion book discussion groups. We have 2 discussions going. The Sum of Us will take place on Tuesday, November 2nd, and Tuesday, November 9th at noon via Zoom. Cast will be on Wednesday, November 3rd, and Wednesday, November 10 at noon as well. And Nancy McCarthy will send out links. See Nancy if you'd like to sign up. I get everything, Nancy? Perfect. Okay, books are available. Fantastic. And then if you haven't paid your October membership dues, please do so. Kathy, I think you probably inserted that one. Thank you. All right. And then next week, our program is going to be United Way of the Lakeshore. We're going to hear from our own Christine Robert, the director, and then also campaign chair Tom Schultz. And they'll introduce or I think probably mention how the campaign did. And I'll give a plug to my boss, Mayor Gary Nealand, who's chairs United Way. So with that, we have another, absolutely.
Fellow Rotarians, I need your help. I want to give away $5,000. The Seifert Challenge expires on October 30. I've got $2,500 in pledges so far, and my wallet is full, but not for long. So please pledge $100, $50, or whatever, but join the pledge for the Boys and Girls Club. Thanks.
Eric, put me down for 50. $50. All right. All right, well, this has been fun, and we're going to end our meeting with the 4-way test, so if you'll rise. Oh, see, I knew I'd forget something. I think I even told Mary Beth and Frank Peterson that I'd probably forget the raffle.
Okay, I'm doing the 10, then the 5, then the 20, so you all know. Okay. 6, 10.
6:10. Jackie Fisher. Five, 4, 1. Who got that one? Our guests. Wonderful. Five, 4, 4. Dr. Merson. All right. And the raffle wasn't the only thing I forgot. I forgot to thank our guests for coming. Nate, Zach, Pamela, Lisa, Sandra, Ray, and student guests Brianna and Clay, and also Christina. Thank you so much for joining us. And with that, you can rise to state the 4-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all
concerned?
Will it build
Will it build
goodwill
and better friendships?
And will it be
Is it
beneficial
beneficial
to
to all
all concerned?
concerned?
Thank you all and have a great week.